some guidance for your conversation.
Right.
So you just started dipping your toes into some storytelling about another person and a little bit about yourself. So actually, you're going to co-create a story, your life story, together up until almost this moment. From the beginning
Do
of
we
your
have
life.
the time? There are a lot of old people here.
Exactly. So we're going to tell you exactly how to speed that up.
Nice noticing.
Yeah.
Nice noticing.
Good call. So this is how it's going to play out. You're actually going to tell a story with your partner, and you're going to alternate years. So the best way to tell you how to do this is to show
We're
you
gonna
how to
model
do
this for you.
Just model it a little bit. I was born in 1974 in Detroit to two young Jews.
You were born in 1974?
Yeah, that's if I got stopped on that one too.
Nice!
I should have said I was born in 1870. Yeah, disgust me.
When I was one,
I was drinking that day.
So was I. It was,
everybody was at 74. When I was 1 year old, my parents had enough money to move out from under my grandparents' roof. And we moved into a apartment across the street from the elevated station in Philadelphia.
when I was 2,
Whoa.
I have my.
We aren't here till tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So
Going quick. Going
What
quick.
happens when you run out of when I was?
Yes.
He's got another 20 years.
So that's
you're
the
going to
video.
go as to the youngest. So in your
Right.
case, it would be the
youngest.
32-year-old.
And then when she was 78,
Yes.
Yes.
And
Go year by year.
here's the deal. You want to go. So here's the deal. You
You're
want to go year by
alternating.
year, and you want it like we did it slowly. It's like one sentence.
Yeah.
Like I was
It
born.
better be.
I was born in
Gotta-
Detroit.
Yeah, we want dessert.
Yes. Yeah.
And we still don't have working
Excuse me.
bathrooms.
Here's the idea.
Okay.
For to deepen this for you, what we're looking for is just be with some of these memories if you can. If you can, think about this. Some of these memories might be
Like birth.
very tangible. Some of them might be photographs you remember seeing about your life.
Yeah.
But just
Uh-oh.
be, because it's not everybody who can call up something from when they're 2 or 3. And then some of those memories could be really powerful and really
Who knows?
delicious.
Who knows?
Barbara
So
will be
jump
jealous.
in.
She'll make
check
up
it
stuff
out.
for you.
Right.
Chat.
Go ahead, begin.
What was that like to talk about what brought you from the very beginning to wherever you ended? What was it like to talk about
It was fun.
That was very
Well,
fun.
we
Yeah.
have a lot of jump cuts in history here.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's listen. So what was fun about it?
I know. Well, first of all, we're about the same age, so we when we would say, well, because then it was like such and such, or the world was changing in this way, and
Right.
it was. We both could kind of go, I remember
like,
that.
1969.
Yeah. So that was fun.
So there was a relatability in that connection.
Yeah, it's a shorthand way of communicating. It was kind of fun just to remember some stuff
Yeah.
that we.
Yeah.
So you didn't get when I was 2, Bill Clinton was elected?
Yeah.
No, we didn't get that.
We
had
were
some
pretty
shared.
much in the same
Yeah, we were
era.
I'm
So-
sorry, Ken.
So what else? What else was it?
Similarities were nice about it. Fun. Yeah.
What else was it like?
Fun.
I learned a lot.
What did
Yeah.
you learn?
Just, I don't know, just where people are from, different things, different experiences from life. Really interesting, just kind of tidbits, peaks of some interesting personal things. Yes.
Did anybody notice that some of the stories that you might have told are actually stories that you still tell, that you tell in your life now? Like when you meet somebody and somebody asks if we're in high school, that there's a thematic story that you constantly tell about this portion of your life, or something that you constantly just tend to omit. Did anybody have that
That's
experience?
the Jersey boy in you.
Yeah?
That people talk about I don't know anybody who talks about like what it was like at high school. Like, I mean, that's just because it was so
Yeah.
traumatic or something.
We talked about externals. Well, I talked about externals. You talked about internals, Sweet 16, right?
Kelly, would you
Carol?
say
I was
something?
gonna say, I think when you meet someone, you kind of have these standard index cards of things that I did or how or where I went that you feel identify you, that you draw from when you're meeting somebody that I think we do have a lot of those.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, because in terms of framing our discussions from tonight, and like bringing up childhood toys, so my childhood toy was on my mind. At the year that my parents got divorced, I chose my childhood toy, instead of even, like, they don't know my parents ever got divorced, because that year, I talked about Fluffy.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So you,
Yeah, I talked about the non-dog Fluffy.
you avoided that,
Questionably a dog.
you avoided that very, what I would think is a really big deal.
I didn't even think of it until David just mentioned it.
Right.
Like, it's that apparently unimportant. Fluffy was a bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, that brings up the notion of choice, right? So you're choosing what to reveal to people. I mean, again, right? I mean, if you don't know people, you're going to be pretty. You could be. You usually are pretty holding your cards close to the vest. And if not, then you might be a little bit open. I'm not suggesting that happened here, but out there, that sometimes happens. You have many choices about what to share at all your different ages, right?
But also our discussion has influenced it. So for example, I'm not particularly shy about revealing anything about myself. I was just more interested in revealing something that had been brought up earlier, something that that rippled from the discussions that we've been having that I had with Michelle, rippled what I brought into this conversation.
And according to Amy, there was a powerful impact of that. We want you to think about those stories. We're each here because of everything that you just talked about and so much more. We each have a story. The kids that David and I were referring to before that are impacted by Mountain Wisdom and by College Access Plan also have stories. And they have the opportunity for their story to look a lot different than they look today. And their stories have been very much like what you've heard in this room and also very different. I think it's about, again, when you have an opportunity to interact with people you know very well, the people you're going to drive home with tonight, the people you're going to see at home tonight.
Are we driving home with different people?
Yeah.
You're driving me home.
No.
If you can change a tire, that's the
I
caveat.
can plumber. Yeah, that's the caveat. Everybody's got a favorite childhood toy. Everybody had something interesting happen to them at some point in their life. Everybody has a profound story that brings them to this moment. So we want you to sit in that and sit with that. We're gonna. So what's the ripple? It doesn't need to be anything profound. What's rippling in you? Besides your breath?
A nice memory of a fun evening, conversation different than you would have otherwise, just
Yeah.
sort of being able to maybe short circuit some of the formality and having more relaxed conversations.
Talking to people from different eras.
What? Can you speak up?
Mesozoic?
Pops?
What do you mean you weren't born
I don't
yet?
really know what he said, I just nodded politely like you do to your elders,
Yes. Graceful, very
You
graceful.
weren't born yet.
Kelly, you were gonna say something?
Just the idea that something that may be insignificant to you can be a touchstone for other people and evoke things that you weren't anticipating.
Like that page.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of us have been to dinner parties before, but I think it's safe to say that all of us tonight found out things from people you would never have found out in the ordinary course of discussion.
Yeah.
Great point, Ken. And so there's, and we set up, we set up a frame or what I would call a sandbox or something in which to play where that was happening. And our hope is that from this point forward, the day after the ripple, that you step into those kinds of conversations with other people. Because hell, it's playful and it feels way cool sometimes. And it touches, to your point, Kelly, like now you're thinking about something that you hadn't thought about in a really long time, or wasn't a big deal to you, and totally connected with somebody else about something.
So, we don't even know where to begin. We just are so appreciative of you guys coming out, stepping in, willing to come out, behind your friends, get silly and goofy, but to sort of just try stuff on new, whether it fits or not, just jump in and play like y'all did. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah, thanks for doing something that you wouldn't normally do.